Hello and welcome back to the studios, everyone. My name is Carson, as always, and this is K2 Productions. We are back for another rendition of our robe build. In the last video, we figured out how to put our wand pocket into the robe, and now in this video, we're going to attach the exterior and the interior together. If you haven't watched the videos in this playlist already, I will put the links down in the description, or you can find it in the cards right here. But other than that, let's get right into it. Now we're going to be putting the whole robe actually together. So we still have to put on the patch, the Ravenclaw or Gryffindor or whatever house you are. We still have to put that on, and then we have to put on. So here, I'll show you while we're talking about it. I have this little iron-on patch that you can sew on if you want to. I actually didn't sew it. I did not sew it on my other robe because I actually forgot to put all this stuff on until I had completely finished sewing all the robe together. So I had to kind of improvise, which I was planning on ironing it on anyway because I don't think I'm gonna put my robe through the rigors of I need to stitch my patch on. But I did have to, be careful and hand stitch on these things. These are the I don't know if you can see, they're not that important to be looking at, but they are the clasps that go right here. So I had to hand stitch on both the pieces and then make a little loop, for them to connect. And I hand stitched those on, which I'll probably end up hand stitching those on this time as well. I mean, I know I will at least one of them because you got to do the loops through them and stuff like that. But I'm going to try and remember to attach these before I seal off the bottom of the robe. It will make it a lot easier because when I had sealed it off, I had to worry about stitching through the inside layer of the robe as well. So just make sure so that we'll not seal off the bottom layer first so that we can be sure to be able to still flip the whole robe inside out and be able to stitch it and stuff like that without having to deal with the bottom or without having to deal with the inside, sorry. So yeah, I'll kind of show you what to do with these, but I figured I'd give you a kind of what to expect coming next. But yeah, so here is the awesome Ravenclaw patch that I'm going to put on. It matches my Gryffindor patch. So yeah, we still have this and the clasp to put on. But other than that, we're literally putting together the robe, and then we're done. So what we're gonna start off with is actually the hood. So basically, how this is gonna work is you're gonna take your liner. So here's the hood. This is the inside of the liner. This is what's actually going to be worn with the touching side. This is the good side. So we're going to put the good side and the good side of the outside facing each other. So you'll see just the crappy seam stuff all over on the outside. And then literally what we're going to do is just sew a seam all the way around the entire perimeter of the whole robe, all the way down to the bottom. And then we're not going to do the bottom yet. We're going to wait to do the bottom last. So what I'm going to do, just so that I can make sure that everything lines up as best as I can, is I'm going to start at the top of the hood. I'm going to start like right here and do one side, and then start right here and then do the other side, so that everything is closed off except for the very bottom of the robe and the sleeves. The sleeves will not be connected yet either. I have a kind of wonky way of connecting the sleeves, but it's the only way I can figure out. I tried so hard to figure out how to connect the liner and the outside sleeves for my robe, and I obviously figured it out, but it's kind of a weird way, so I'll kind of show you what to do when we get there. But first we're going to start out with the easy stuff. So yeah, let's hit the sewing machine. So I'll show you what I kind of did to prepare. I turned my whole cloak or robe. I keep wanting to call it a cloak every time. It's a robe, Hogwarts robe. You're a wizard, Harry. But me, I'm just Harry. It's a robe. robe, 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 robe. So basically what I did is I turned the whole thing inside out. So I have my hood, my liner is actually inside of my hood. And you can see this is the bad side. And this is also the bad side on the inside, you can see. So the good sides are facing each other. And I have it basically all together, all the way down the sides. I even put I put the sleeves inside the sleeves. Just so that everything will kind of be together as it should be as we do the sewing. So now this part's kind of be a little hard because there's just a ton of fabric that you have to deal with. But it's just like any other seam. You're just gonna start in one spot and just follow the line all the way down. So just remember, all we're doing is from the hood down all the way down the sides, which are technically, they're gonna be the front flaps once you have your whole robe together. But that's what we're doing. So here, this is we're looking at the hood right now. This is the tip of the hood. Your forehead. It's going, just to clarify. Hopefully, you guys all get it, but I'm just trying to be as specific as I can for all the people who don't really know much about sewing and stuff. So here's the hood. You're going down the front of the hood. This is the piece that goes like this. Going down the front of the hood. Here is the seam that meets the shoulder. And then we're going down all the way down the side, all the way down, and this bit right here is the bottom. It's what sways on bottom. So for reference, kind of, you can see this is the same seam, but the other side, and you can see that's where our wand pocket is. So in case you didn't understand where everything's going together, we're sewing all the way down this side right here. Technically the front pieces, what I've been calling the front pieces this whole time. So we're sewing all the way down the side of the front pieces and around the hood to create basically close up all the robe except for the sleeves and the bottom. So I hope that made sense. I'm really trying. I know I have a big beard. I look crazy. I haven't shaved in forever. I can't move very well. Okay, I'm sorry. Just think of it as like a mini Jude Law. That's what I'm going for. I am Albus Dumbledore, except a 22-year-old version of him. Yeah. So here we are. You can see this is the middle seam of the hood. So that's where I'm starting. I'm just kind of where I usually start with everything else. I'm starting right behind the seam of the center seam of the hood. I'm going to do a back stitch and just go forward all the way down, just following the whole length of the robe until I get to the bottom. So now this is where the hood meets the front and back sections, where the shoulders are of the rest of the robe. So, my hood seams for my liner and my black do not line up perfectly, but they're very close, like literally, like that much different. So don't worry about it. That will not be really noticeable. That's, like the transition. So just try and get it as close as you can. You line up everything, but it really doesn't matter. Um, this is a pretty smooth transition from hood to shoulder or front, whatever you want to call it. So uh, you don't really have to worry about anything. Just keep on going. Just make sure that both of your flappy pieces, the seams, are flat. Going downwards, just so that there's no bumps. But that's really about it. So keep on sewing. all the way to the bottom. I'll just cut that off. So now we are connected from here, the top up here. Hey. Now we are connected from the tip of the hood all the way down the side of the robe. So I'm going to do the same exact thing with the other side. Just line it up at the top and go right over it again. And then once it's all down the sides, I'll kind of show you. I'll flip it inside out and show you guys exactly what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so I've sewed both the sides together. So now we actually have kind of a robe. So if you'd like to, now you're going to have a pretty big chunk of fabric. So if you'd like to kind of check it out, just go to the bottom. There's this humongous hole. And start turning things right side out. So grab, like the hood or whatever. So you can kind of start pulling things the right way. So here is our hood, our pointy hood. There's the hood. There's our sleeves. So our sleeves are still not connected, you can see. But the rest of the robe, here, I'll try and stand up. I'm gonna use my walker. I'll put it on. So here you can kind of see what we're going to be looking at. You can see the inside. So here's your kind of first look at what it'll be like. There's our wand pocket. It's a nice like silvery satin blue. I think it's really good for Ravenclaw. You probably can notice that, I'll get it off, that our seams are, like, they're like rolling over each other and stuff like that. They don't look very nice. We're going to be top stitching it. We're going to iron it out and then top stitch it so that it looks really nice and clean like mine. And the black will stay on the outside and the blue will stay on the inside and stuff like that. It'll look really good. It'll look nice and straight right on the line, because right now, it looks a little rolly. But yeah, so this is kind of an idea of what you'll be looking at soon once it gets better. Just to clarify, here's the top of the hood. This is where we started our seam. So we went all the way down the side. Here is one side. We went all the way down to the bottom where it's still open. And then we came back up to the hood, top of the hood, did the exact same thing all the way down to the bottom again. Okay, so here is the very edge. This is the hood right there. And basically what Easton's going to do for me, because I can't stand for very long, he's going to literally go around the entire edge of the whole robe where we just sewed and make sure that the blue is nicely even but slightly tucked underneath the black, so that from the outside you can't see the blue over here. Over here you don't want that. I mean, unless you want it to be poking out like that, but whatever you think, So yeah, he's literally just gonna try and make sure that the black is over top the whole time. And as you kind of go, you can fix it. Sorry, there's lots of arms moving everywhere. But as you kind of go, you can kind of fix it. Once you get started, it makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, we're just gonna go all the way around. He just kicked my boot. All the way around the whole seam, and then once we're done, we're gonna top stitch it. So we're literally gonna do another seam right on top of it so that it stays like that, and it stays flat instead of fluffy like it is right now. Go for it.
So what I was doing along the edge, since it's a little bit of a pain to try and keep it folded down while ironing around, I took a ruler, and because of where we're trying to sew it, I put it inside of the cloak and matched it with on top of ah, on top of the lines so that it was on the outside of the black, and then it made a nicer edge to be able to iron across. So that made it a little bit less of a pain in the butt. And go right across that. And hopefully that'll leave you with a better edge than if you're trying to manually fold everything over.
And then you can re-iron over it once you've made kind of an edge. Then you can go over it without the ruler. It just makes it all a little bit easier in general. All right, so now that we have all the sides kind of ironed down, I'm literally just going to go all the way around the same spot that we just did where we all ironed down, and I'm going to put a top stitch. So basically, it doesn't matter which side you look at, the black or the blue, but we're going to put a stitch literally like right inside of this of the edge. So you can see on my robe, I put a stitch. You can see on the red that I have that black stitch like right on the edge, you know, literally like an eighth of an inch from the edge. And we're just going to do that all the way around except for the bottom, because remember the bottom is still open because that's how we're going to turn it inside out still, and put on our little clasps and stuff like that. So you can see I'm just right on the edge, and you can just use your fingers to kind of make sure and keep the black over top of the blue, because you want it to be like just perfectly right on top of each other, but if anything, make the black a little bit over so that you're not seeing any blue popping out. I'm gonna try to take this pretty decently slow so that it all stays where it needs to be. It looks really good. This is probably the most important seam to make sure that it looks nice, because it is the one that everybody's eyes will be drawn to, you know, on the edge. So now I just finished the top stitch for the whole outside, so you can see, maybe you can see it better on this side. You can see there's a seam right there all the way around. So I did it all the way around the hood. Here's the top of the hood. So you can see there's my top stitch all the way around to the other side of the bottom. So now you should have a nice finished looking robe everywhere but the sleeves and the bottom, because we haven't sealed up the sleeves yet. All right, everyone, you heard it from, well, me first. The next video, we will try and start closing up the sleeves. It's definitely going to be probably one of the hardest parts of this. And probably attaching the sleeves was probably the hardest part. Thank you all so much for watching if you've stuck around this long. If you have not subscribed already, definitely think about doing so. And if you like videos like this about Harry Potter or making Harry Potter props and things like that, definitely let me know. Let me know that you like these kind of content, and especially if you have any questions, you can always put them down in the comments. I am super active and I love to answer all your guys' questions. You can also reach us on Twitter right here, where you can send us pictures of your builds, which is very important to me. I would love to see anything that you guys are making. But if I happen to have inspired you to make a robe and you are working on it, even if it's not finished, I would absolutely love to see it. If you'd like to support the channel, actually the best way that you can do it is completely free. All you have to do is share this video with one of your friends who's just as obsessed with Harry Potter as you are. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you've made it to this point, a huge, huge, huge thank you for watching this whole video. I know it's super lengthy, but I tried just to go into detail as much as I possibly can. But that's all I have for you guys today. Stay safe out there. Get out there and make something, and I will see you guys next time. Is the wand too much? I think the wand's too much. I don't know. I just like swinging it around. I can't help it.